Namaste, my Sangha. Right now we have precious little time in which to explain to you the nature of spirituality from every stage of consciousness. So this is the Altitudes model by Ken Wilber, 12 stages of consciousness. We're just going through all the 12 stages, and we're going to explain what spirituality and religion might look like from those stages. I'm going to continue using the little cartoon characters I drew because they're fun. First tier, infrared. Magenta. Nature is a fierce but loving mother spirit who gives us the world and our lives. By giving personal sacrifice, we may temporarily buy favor. Every person, every animal, every river, tree, and forest has a spirit of its own. We can communicate with these spirits in a manner similar to make-believe, where we pretend to have a conversation, or we act out a scenario in ceremony, or we imagine that someone is responding to us. We can channel the spiritual forces using miniature forms like totems, amulets, and statues, or even stones, magic words, magic poses, and ritual ceremonies. Magic is very powerful. The dark spells, potions, hexes, and curses of black magic, evil sorcerers, and witches are to be avoided and should not be taken lightly. Red. We are warriors on a spiritual journey. Our power is constantly challenged and tested. Vision quest rituals are a gateway to hidden realms of reality. The patriarchal lineage of the visionary prophets goes back to the creation of the world. We are the people that are chosen to serve the most powerful of the gods. Some of these gods have literally incarnated as people, entities, and creatures in the real world. Sorcerers and mystics have the power to control themselves and others through magical practices and to produce miracles and prophecies. My experience of the divine is found in powerful, emotional, and visceral moments in the here and now. The sacred texts of my people tell of great historical battles and the victory and redemption of our chosen tribe. We celebrate the heroes of these stories. Amber. The community that I belong to believes in the canonical scriptures, and we avoid those who don't. Religion is very central to our way of life. Our religion was originally intended for a people chosen by God, but by being adopted into our community, it is possible to acquire salvation yourself. The nature of salvation is that a ritual commits you to this group, and you are bound for life to it, and this membership will continue for all eternity into the afterlife. My religious practice entails frequent community gatherings, ceremonies, and observances, wherein we mostly sing, recite, and listen to a man talk. My family and myself are faithful servants of the church or temple. Orange. People have a right to believe in whatever they want. I am unconvinced of the religious perspective. I may technically be a member of a non-invasive faith, but I secretly bite back how stupid and silly it all seems to me for the most part. I understand that people, such as children, the elderly, alcoholics, and prisoners, benefit enormously from the structure and security of mythology, but I don't need it. Science, which is simply observation of reality combined with logic, has completely overturned religious views, and nearly all religions utterly disagree with one another about the nature and origin of the world. They can all be proven wrong with science. It bears mentioning that every religion is wrong from the perspective of every other religion, whereas science and math are always true for everyone. I understand that religion takes on more noble, less commercial, and less socially pathogenic forms. I am well aware of the power of placebo and positive intent. I have read about the personal benefits of prayer and meditation and community involvement. All in all, though, religion does a lot more harm than good to humanity. It is something to be outgrown. Green. As a holistic thinker, my goal is to honor the religious perspective of every person, to suspend my disbelief and overcome the barriers to understanding. I consider myself spiritual, not religious. My spirituality does not care so much about what you believe or what religion is called and what that particular cultural backdrop is, because spirituality is a universal human gift, so we can choose which parts we personally wish to honor. But my spirituality is a self-contained system of thought, subject to change at any time. As spiritual beings, we must take care of our bodies, our emotions, and our relationships, and nurture the growth of self and community. I can't get behind any religion that has lost touch with those points. Second tier. TEAL. The most essential thing regarding spirituality is that we understand what kind of spirituality it is. Religious belief must be identified as it is as magical, mythical, rational, multicultural, and then, quite apart from the social institutions and belief systems, does this system or this practice offer any form of genuine transcendence or any genuine state experience of the psychic, subtle, causal, non-dual natures of reality? In other words, is this religion transformative or merely translative? Does it actually change what people think, feel, or do, or is it just different words for the same things? The religion of the future, one should hope, would be one which assists people anywhere on the developmental spectrum. TURQUOISE. I want to be of interest to people who understand that God doesn't care what you think, feel, or believe. All spirituality exists in relationship between an individual and her collective context. The method for attainment of higher spiritual understanding is both the individual's personal, regular practice of spirituality through meditation, while at the same time also seeking out the community which expresses spiritual understanding from the highest altitude possible, and includes all altitudes if possible. However, we are aware that there are altered states of consciousness, such as those brought about by meditation, psychedelics, hypnosis, etc., and that some of these states of consciousness have informed the world religions and spiritual teachings. These spiritual states of consciousness reveal to us the true nature of reality, and it seems that they informed the magic and mythic beliefs of history. Indigo. Mysticism is no great secret. It isn't hidden. That is how it seems through a mirror darkly, through the veil of simplification offered by systems of belief. At a certain point, I begin to feel my body differently, as though I am no longer in it, but in the environment itself. This can last for weeks. I'm not really doing this for some purpose or some outcome. This is a natural activity of my mind revealing itself to me, and I find it challenging and fascinating. It has sort of given new meaning and context to my experience of life. It has rendered other pursuits somewhat silly by comparison. Violet. It isn't special. It is sacred if you say, or it isn't. It's just this. The unconditional love and acceptance, the liberation and bliss, that's just because that is how you are when you forget that you believe yourself to be someone else. Reality is the fractured pieces of love trying to find their way back together. In my practice, I fall into rapture and am first confronted with and then inhabited by a much greater heart and a much greater consciousness than my own. There are lines and waves of energy, colorful energies, rising and falling in complicated patterns all around me. A vast and infinite, geometrical, explosively emotional realm. It is almost impossible to believe that this is all nothing more than me. All I'm doing is concentrating my awareness. I am not generating these images consciously. This is reality when you stop trying to control it with your conscious mind. Ultraviolet. There is a realm of even greater stillness, even greater subtlety than the subtle state. The Buddha mind. The ultimate absolute oneness, which is only one without other. One hand clapping, no subject, no object. The final identity of the self and of the cosmos as that which exists in all cases without any regard to the creation of time, so that in that sense eternal, as there is no form and no shape and structure whatsoever. I meditate out of my body, I meditate out of my thoughts, and here I am, nothing other than consciousness witnessing itself. It isn't a state of understanding. What I'm talking about is unimaginable to you. It is unimaginable to me, and we are unfamiliar with it because we are thinking and generating time right now. Meditate. Stop your brain. White or clear light.